Hello, beautiful people. It's Sindafam. Welcome to the channel. Today, we're going to be checking this video together. Let's check it out.
Right, okay, a royal story for you. The Prince of Wales and Duke of Sussex have both attended the funeral of their uncle, but it wasn't the harmonious reunion many had hoped for.
But did we hope for a harmonious reunion? Really, I don't know whether I did as well. I mean, it's been reported to have been a frosty between the two of them. I mean, you can't help that, can you? After he wrote that terrible memoir. Apparently, they didn't talk. Well, joining us now is royal correspondent Michael Cole. Michael, nice to see you. Good morning. Now,
good morning, Nana. Good morning, Dawn. This is a great story, you know. Is he Superman? Is he Super Prince? With one bound, he's from teeming Los Angeles to the sleepy North Norfolk village of Snettisham for the funeral of his uncle, Robert Fellows, the late husband of Princess Diana's older sister, Jane. How did he do it? How did he get here? How did he arrive completely unseen? Was it on a scheduled flight? I don't think so. Was it a private jet into nearby RAF Marham? Well, we must be told, because, you know, they're great defenders of climate change, great opponents of climate change and protecting the planet. But what is interesting is, for the first time in nearly a year, the two princes were in the same room together in the church, apparently sitting discreetly apart at the back of the church. There was no interaction. To say it was minimal, well, it wasn't minimal, it was invisible. Frosty, absolutely no warmth at all. And you couldn't call it, by any stretch of the imagination, a reunion.
Because I could imagine that William just feels absolutely betrayed by his brother. It's just terrible. But yeah, as you say, gas-guzzling, probably a gas-guzzling Bombardier jet, private jet, leaking 60 times more fuel than any other type of transport.
Michael, the paperback version of Spare is due out very soon, as we're aware, and I understand it hasn't been updated. Normally, paperbacks have that extra chapter, what's happened in between. Now, Harry hasn't done that, which has led some people to speculate that maybe he does want to thaw those relationships a bit with his dad and his brother.
Absolutely. I think this is another thorn in the side of the royal family. The fact that the paperback is coming out, but as you say, it's without new chapters, it hasn't been updated. So maybe that's some sort of peace offering, or perhaps he's feeling a little bit, I don't know, embarrassed by it. And it's a success, because we mustn't forget it was the biggest selling autobiography ever.
Is he embarrassed though? And do you blame Prince William if he's not going to look his brother again, or see his brother as the way he sees him before the public embarrassment? No. Because, I mean, he's unrecognizable. This is not the exact same person you grew up with, or the exact same person you knew. We get people change, but I mean, wouldn't it be better if people change for the better? But when you see people change for the worse, also dust your slippers and run away. And exactly, no sane person would want to associate themselves with somebody like this, who doesn't even care or feel any sort of remorse embarrassing their family publicly. It is different, or is completely different, if the person does it indoors or not in public. Is he embarrassed though? Do you think he's embarrassed? For me, nah. That's hard to believe. Or what do you think?
Understanding the fact that it wasn't written by him, it was written by a ghostwriter called J.R. Muringer. But it's hugely successful. And of course, that's one of the bones of contention that lies between them. It caused an awful lot of trouble. It was very unkind to, the present king, and of course the Princess of Wales and his brother. All those tales from inside the household which should normally have been kept well within there. And that is, of course, the nub of the angst that Prince William quite clearly has with his brother. It will be a very long time. At the moment, they were the same building, but they were a country mile apart. And for that to be bridged in any way whatsoever, there's going to have to be a lot of fence mending, enough fencing, in fact, to go around the whole 20,000 acres of the Sandringham estate. It's going to take a long time, and quite frankly, I can't see it happening, maybe never.
Well, I was reading that Prince William is unlikely to be inviting Harry to his coronation when he is coronated king, and also that Meghan Markle, she's upset that things aren't sort of going her way, and the way her American Riviera orchard has been received, she's been quite upset by that.
Yeah, and Netflix are not going to renew their $100 million contract. It's all very, very sad. And you know what I feel, Dawn, and what I feel, Nana, is the fact that this couple could have made such a fantastic contribution to the Commonwealth. They were doing extremely well. They were well received by this whole people of this country. They could have had the backup of Buckingham Palace. They could have been doing things their own way. Because when you're a member of the royal family, you just simply are. When you're a semi-detached member of the royal family, you have to be doing things all the time. And of course, I think the fact that the prince came back yesterday, he must have felt some pangs. It was on Wednesday, of course, the funeral. He must have felt some pangs of the old life he lived, because he knows the Sandringham estate very well, had lots of friends up there, loved the shooting, loved everything about this country. And the fact is that he lives 5,000 miles away. And I'm sure that sometimes gives him a twinge of nostalgia.
I'm sure. Michael, just finally, Harry is due to go on a trip to New York next month at the same time as William is hosting a summit in the same city. Do you think there might be a twinge of hope that they at least talk to one another there?
Absolutely. This is extraordinary, isn't it? He's going there to promote various charities, including the Diana Trust and the Halo Trust and Africa Parks. But the fact that the two brothers can be in the same city, of course, at that time, it's the General Assembly week for the United Nations, the biggest talking shop in the world. So perhaps the New Yorkers, who have other things on their mind, won't notice that much. But, what a force they were when they were together. And I can't ever look at that. Look at that picture. Look at Diana there. Those boys, they were so precious to her. She could not believe how this situation has resolved.
Michael, you just mentioned the Africa Parks charity. Is Prince Harry still attached to that after all the sort of scandal that surrounded it?
Well, I think he's staying loyal to it. Wow. It was said that by his own office that when he was there, those are one of the good causes that they promote. Listen, they do good things. We have to applaud that. Nothing wrong with that at all. I would just wish that they could have done it within the royal family. They would have benefited. He would have been, I think, a happier man. And as it is now, the king never sees his grandchildren.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's just sad. Because, exactly what you said. If they had stayed in the royal family, they would have contributed, really. But again, it's a good thing that they did not stay. Because, look at them now. When they are not in the royal family, people wouldn't have known. Or what do you think? People wouldn't have known. There might be speculations and all of that, but people wouldn't have known who they truly are. What do you think? What do you think there's going to be a reunion when the two brothers meet in the summit? Let me know what you think.
Well, in fact, Meghan Markle hasn't taken her grandchildren to meet the children to meet her dad either. In fact, she hasn't visited her dad, who is still very, very sick. I don't get it, but Michael Cole, lovely to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Let's have a look at The Sun, shall we? And this is Princes William and Prince Harry reunited at their uncle's funeral yesterday in Norfolk.
They say reunited. I think they were in the same area at the funeral of their uncle. So Prince Harry came over secretly flew in to come and attend the funeral, which I think he should do. But the brothers apparently never spoke to each other, didn't really look at each other. I mean, like most families, you're always going to have the people you don't wish to speak with. It's also not the occasion for those two to have some kind of either confrontation, argument, or great big making up, because you take away from the fact that they were there to celebrate the life of a family member. It wasn't about them, it was about somebody else. So it feels a little bit of a non-story, just because they were in the same place at the same time, attending the same event.
It just goes to show, though, that, I mean, the damage is done there.
It does sound like it. I mean, I just think it's a bit sad. On an occasion really like that, you'd think they could have a polite chat. I mean, we're not expecting a huge hug and a make-up, but have a chat, just try and see if there's any way of actually having a relationship.
But it's not the time or the place to do that. It was the funeral of somebody. It's not about those two.
No, I don't mean have a summit meeting to try and solve all their differences. I'm just talking about they're in the same church. On the basis of that, be able to perhaps sit together, be able to have a brief chat with each other, a way of maybe opening the door so they can get back together.
I think if there was going to be an opening of the doors and a reconciliation, I think that would have been the late Queen's funeral, would it not have been?
Well,
or their own father's coronation?
Yeah. It may have gone too far.
If it didn't happen
never
then,
happened. Yeah.
Perhaps it's gone too far now.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I find odd. That Lord Fellows, who died, was private secretary to the Queen. He was the brother-in-law of Diana, Princess of Wales, but also the cousin of Ronald Ferguson, who's the father of Fergie.
Yeah.
What?
So, talk about...
the aristocracy works.
It is, it is.
All linked together.
It's a small world.
Linked to all of the royal family.
Yeah, and I think when you start looking at sort of doing a family tree or one of those sort of diagrams, there's an awful lot of crossover, shall we say.
Yes.
But it is the aristocracy at work, and I think that's entirely up to them, how they conduct their lives. So, yeah, it's an interesting... I think, you know, all the sort of genealogists out there find it quite interesting, the different branches that you can go off and see how people are related.
Of course, it's gone too far, because obviously, even us as regular human beings, I always like to reference us as regular human beings, because obviously there are families who have long, ongoing feud that don't even want to look each other in the eye, just because somebody from the family did something that was embarrassing or that embarrassed the family. Now, let's even look at it and talk about public embarrassment. How many of you, as an individual or as a regular person, would forgive and let it go if you've got... We're not going to reference or talk about friends. We're going to be talking about family. If your family, and we get that some people, some families would not do that, but let's even say for the case that the inevitable happens, your family member embarrasses you and your family publicly, and it's all over in the public eye. Would you look at that family member the exact same way? Of course you wouldn't. Of course you wouldn't. Which is the truth. Don't know. Even if they want to do a reunion, secret reunion, trust once broken cannot be rebuilt. And look at how he came to the UK secretly, visited secretly. I wish this is the exact same way they would go about their business. Don't you think the world would have been a better place, or they will be in a better place? What do you think? But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment down below. I'm sure tons of people have interesting things to share. I would really love you to share that. You can share the useful information I think might be really helpful. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe and all of that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.